Okay, everybody, a man who needs no introduction, but let me introduce him anyway. Dr. Al Friedman. Al, please take it away.
Thank you, Dave. This is a two-parter. We're going to do half today and half the next time. This is everything you've always wanted to know about tennis, but maybe never thought of asking. This is a lot of observations, a lot of... Hey, everybody. This is John Connors. You might recognize the name. Yeah. Famous brother.
Al, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I got a tremendous favor to ask you. If you've got time.
Yeah.
I know how busy you are with the instructions and all the good tennis tips. My brother watches them constantly.
Really?
And he called me. I flew out the other day. He's having a tremendous amount of trouble timing his back.
Okay.
And he said, say, Johnny, do you think you could get Al to fly out here if I'd send the jet for him and just work with me for about 2 or 3 days? I said, Jimmy, he's so busy, all I can do is ask.
Yeah, well, I am swamped, but I'll try to get him in. Can you make sure that on the flight there's an open middle seat?
Well, it'll be fine. You'll be the only one on the plane.
Oh, it'll be a private plane.
It's
Okay, his plane. Oh,
but,
that's great.
But there will be a few other people on there because for you to come out to see him, he'd be glad to send a couple of his special stewards.
Oh, wow. Wow. I think I'm not going to show this to my wife.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Hey, thank you so much, John. Tell Jimmy I will get to him as soon as I possibly can.
I'll give you his number and you call him and you take it from here.
I will take it there.
Thank you
I'll
very
call
much.
one of my 2 secretaries later.
I worked with him for a week. I can't iron it out. He said, could you get me Al?
Leave it to me. Thank you, John. This one is a collection of observations, tips, and I think Dave has some questions that viewers have sent in. So we're going to intersperse my observations and tips with some of the questions that from viewers. By the way, these viewers sent these in. Dave, did you notice? They sent them in by Pony Express, which I thought, I didn't even know that was still going on. Did you?
No, Al, I did not.
No, maybe they're using horses because they can't spread the virus. I don't know.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's get started.
Yes.
First of all, if your partner that you're playing doubles with asks you, do you want to play forehand side or backhand side, you probably should not say, either one, I'm great on both.
Okay.
See, that's not very humble. Now, if your opponent hits a great shot, I think your best thing to say is, great shot. That's received a lot better than saying, damn you to eternal hell. A lot of people don't like that. Okay. Now, I don't know, David, when you play, if somebody hits a good shot, it gets a little old to just keep saying great shot, great shot. Try a few variations. These are a few things you can say. Well, somebody's been to forehand school, and somebody's been to angle school. You see that, Dave? You could just put in backhand, overhead, whatever you want.
Okay.
Or you could say, you've played this game before, haven't you? You're not fooling me. See, these are a few things you can say to praise your partner.
Oh, I understand.
Okay. Now, if you want to be nice when your opponent misses a shot, you can this is kind of encouraging. Just say, you would have had that one if the net wasn't there.
Okay.
That's very encouraging. Okay, let's see. I think we got our first question coming in.
Al, Dr. Al, we have a question from a viewer who writes, I'm new to tennis, just started playing. Where should I hit the ball?
Where should I hit the ball? That is a tough one, Dave. I think we covered this in lesson 1 and 2. I would recommend, once again, hitting it over the net.
Oh.
Over the net is always the best.
Okay.
Okay. Now, it's kind of curious, and this is true, that in singles, the best place to hit the ball is to the sides, not up the middle. And in doubles, the best place to hit the ball is right down the middle.
Okay.
So that's kind of curious, isn't it? Don't you think?
Yes.
Okay, let's get to some scoring ideas in tennis. If you're playing doubles and you and your opponents both win a point, you can call that 5-all or 15-all.
Okay.
Now that's kind of interesting because 30 is always 30 and 40 is always 40. But the first point can be 5 or 15. Now,
Okay.
you have a lot of math background, don't you, Dave? Is 5 the same as 15?
It's close.
No, they're different numbers. They're different numbers.
Al,
Yeah.
excuse me.
Yeah.
I hate to interrupt again, but I was wondering if you'd do me a little favor.
Sure.
It'd be an honor if you would autograph my balls.
Let me finish this video. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll autograph your balls. So technically, 15 or 5 are the same thing. So if you're 5-5 in a game and you want to act like you're ahead, just say 15-5.
Oh, okay.
Because that would give you the advantage.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now at 30 all is called 30 all or 30-30, but it's also called baby deuce.
Yeah.
This is a real term, baby deuce for 30
Okay.
all.
Okay.
Now 40 all, you can't call it adult deuce.
Okay.
40 all is just plain deuce.
Okay.
Okay. Now here's a tip. If your opponents are serving and you wind up losing the first 3 points in a game and they call out 40, you want to make a point of asking them 40 what?
Okay.
Make them say 40 love.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know why you want to make them say that?
Why?
Because there's just not enough love in this world.
Ah, yeah, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
Al.
Now you know love is the strangest word in tennis.
Right.
It means, you think about it, it's like you've got nothing, zilch, nada, a big zero, but you've got love.
Ah.
You see,
Yeah.
it just is an inappropriate word,
Yeah.
you know, for what it is. Okay, now if you're way behind in a set, Dave,
Yeah.
all you got, like you're 0-5,
Right.
you've lost the first 5 games, all you've got to do is say, boy, say this to your opponents, I'm sure glad we're playing a practice set,
Yeah.
and that means losing the set won't count.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you want to learn how to lob better, Dave,
Right.
having a lobotomy will not help.
Are you okay, Al?
I speak from experience.
Okay, I understand.
Now, never tell your partner what they should have done to make a shot unless you never miss any of your shots.
Okay.
Okay, that's a good tip. Now, if your opponents cheat and call your in balls out,
Yeah.
in USTA tennis, the only thing you're legally allowed to say is, are you sure? But in casual tennis, recreational tennis, you can say, just say this is really good. When they cheat, just say, see you in the parking lot.
Right.
Come alone and no tricks.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you do this, I think it's a good idea to show up in the parking lot after the match. Okay. Now, if you hit a ball that clips the net and goes over, here's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to raise a hand and say, sorry. Now, you shouldn't do that if you have a big Cheshire grin on your face while you're saying you're sorry.
Okay.
That kind of sends out a different message.
Okay.
Now, this is kind of funny. Dave, have you ever done this? A ball goes past you, but you barely touch it. You really want to let your opponents know, I flicked it, I ticked it, I nicked it. But there's really no point to this
Right.
because whether you touched it or not, you still lost the point.
Right.
So it's kind of meaningless.
Okay.
Oh, I think we've got another question, Dave.
Yes. A viewer from Chicago, Illinois writes, a gender challenge fan of our rights. I play mixed doubles. How should I hit the ball to the opposing woman?
Oh boy. Well, if you're hitting it to a woman you're dating
Yes.
or really want to date, I would hit it very softly to them.
Yes.
Now, if the opponent is your wife and you've been married over 20 years, I would hit it as hard as you possibly can right at them.
Gotcha.
Okay, that's my tip there.
Okay.
Okay. Speaking of about hitting a ball hard, you should never hit a ball hard right at an opponent. You shouldn't try to hit them unless, Dave, you need the point.
Okay.
Now, if you do hit the opponent, you need to lie and say, "Oh, sorry, I wasn't trying to hit you."
Okay.
Okay, that's really important. All right, Dave, are you familiar with the golden set? Have you ever heard of that?
I have not, Al.
No, it's not. I mean, it's a golden set. I know what you're thinking. No, it's not that. It's a golden set. This is actually something you can Google.
Okay.
It's when you win all 24 points in a game.
Okay.
Your opponent doesn't get a point. You win 6-0 and they don't get a point.
Okay.
Well, here's a good tip.
Yeah.
If you win the first 3 games and your opponents haven't got a point yet, just say, "Well, we're halfway to a golden set." Okay. And that will intimidate your opponents, and they'll probably or maybe miss the next 12 points, giving you this rare golden set.
Okay.
I'm sure some viewers think I'm making that up. It is a real thing, a golden set in tennis.
Okay.
Okay, I think you had another question there that maybe you skipped. Did you have that one?
Yes, I do. A viewer in the Midwest writes, "What is the nickname? The new game pickleball? Is it
Pickleball.
like tennis?"
Well, it's a real popular new game. It's played on a smaller court, and there's less movement required. A lot of people play a lot of tennis and just a little pickleball. But some people play all pickleball.
Yeah.
You know what you call it, Dave, if you just play a little pickleball?
What?
It's called gherkin ball.
Ah, gherkin
You
ball.
see, that's a little pickle. It's called a
I got
gherkin.
it.
Okay, maybe one more thing. Let's do before we wrap up and save the rest for the second half, let's do a few hand signals
Okay.
in tennis. Okay, this means that ball was good.
Okay.
This means your ball was out.
Okay.
This means I think it was good. Oh, wait a minute. No, it did go out.
Okay.
And this is, that ball's, oh, wait, no, it was good. And this one means I have no idea whether the ball was good or not.
Okay.
Okay. And another gesture you can have to show you don't know whether the ball was good or not is
Ah.
that one's good too.
Okay.
Okay, so we're wrapping this up, and you know what? We've got a lot more to cover. Part 2 is coming.
Okay.
And speaking of hand signals,
Yeah.
Dave, are you old enough to remember old 45 records? Those little records.
I'm not that
45s?
old, Al.
No, you're not that old.
No.
Well, they were like small records, and here's what I'm telling to all you viewers, those of you who remember 45s.
Yeah.
I'll see everybody on the flip side.
Ah.
So long.